Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't heard from him.
Well, Jason.
On Mondays, so it's like I have Carson's out for the week, Easter that Monday. After Easter, so that Monday they're on vacation.
You're way past.
So I told Ruby, I said, I'll leave Tuesday, my right
The feedback we got was, that's about as far as you would ever want to put one.
Oh, is there a clock before it's correct?
We bought a bicycle.
You go with Parks and Rec.
How about it?
I know. I'm gonna get you have to send today, I promise.
No, you're not.
I'm going to. If I make it past this meeting, I'm going to.
Well, that's what my husband is like, he's like,
Oh.
Thank God you didn't buy the mouse. I wasn't about to put up that down.
yeah, that's about what I do. I told him make a mistake about 5 years ago.
You let him get out of the office? Yeah. Right? I was gonna grab one. Oh, sorry. I'm just. Hey, Rachel, is Jeremy gonna be here as far as we know?
He said he didn't know. He sent an email to Travis and Stephanie and said he was trying to find someone else to have his kids.
Steve, I know you don't want one.
So he'll be here. So I assume he's here. Yeah.
Is Jeremy coming?
I don't think so. He said he was having troubles finding people to pick up his kids.
Well, that's
I think you can make it there. Or even from here, make it go to the outer.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Travis, as long as you vote on things, we're good. But you have to vote. Yeah, so we can.
All right. Thank you everyone that has been today. Good meeting. Always second Monday at 2:30. City Hall.
Conway, Arkansas.
That's right. Roll call is done. Take time to review and approve the March minutes.
I've looked over those, I'll make a motion for approval.
Second.
I got a motion by Ms. Sheila and a second by Mr. Mike. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. Let's see here, funding events. We don't have anybody here to report, do we? I don't see anybody. All right. Make this short and sweet.
No, we don't have any funding reports.
Okay.
That's my turn, right?
We're here.
We are
Your
here.
show.
All right. So underneath the minutes is the balance sheet with up at the top with the balance
Balances in our bank accounts and our CD. If you go to page 3, it has what page 2 has on it, just with comparisons. And for March 2022, we're in the black, $43,314.24. Whereas last year we were $67,307.76. No, just kidding. Compared to 132,298.24.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah, I
within-
mean, we must have had an outlay of something.
well, the difference is right there in the middle. The allocation to the city, and then the chamber,
Okay,
and then there's
yeah.
funding requests.
There's $100,000 right there in one line. I got it. Thank you.
Remaining information is just back up to these financials, the general ledger and the bank reconciliations. And those outstanding checks from October 2021 are some of the NIL checks that have not cleared yet.
How'd that program go?
I would say that all of the kind of,
Even undivided?
I'll be fast.
Okay.
So the run up training, all that was excellent. All of the, kind of behind the scenes, I think what we determined was there's going to be kind of some thrivers who are really interested in moving forward with that stuff, and then some other folks who are a little bit, either too busy, otherwise occupied, other priorities, just like anything else. I mean, and it corresponds with what we had said originally. It's less about athletic achievement and riding that, and more about finding the right person who has a good story to tell. And I think we've identified, so I think we've done roughly 24, and of that, I'd say there's 4 to 6 who are really interested in kind of sticking and pursuing. But then there are others who, through the mentorship and the training and all that stuff, have kind of paired off with other businesses and with other, some of them taking internships with other places. So I think we're kind of learning our way through it. One of the lessons we talked about applying moving forward is finding somebody amongst a class of athletes to kind of be that point person to work with the others. So maybe a kind of a manager athlete to say, okay guys, who wants to do this food tour with us? Who wants to hit the parks? Who wants to, so it's just kind of a big funnel this year. And then we kind of identify what types of folks are the most productive. But we did a few different posts.
Of the ones that have kind of gone off to other businesses, are they cutting their own NIL deals?
Yeah.
There?
Yes.
That's what they're doing?
That's right. Yeah.
So they're learning
Oh yeah.
from us
Yes.
that this is available.
That's right.
That's not a bad thing.
Oh, absolutely not.
Not a bad thing.
And it's paying off, I think, kind of in different ways. I mean, we got a lot of sizzle with the announcement. We got a lot of sizzle with the training and all that. We were able to connect the student athletes to some local businesses, and some of them have used those connections. Nothing to do with being a spokesperson. It's turned into, I'm a well-spoken, disciplined person who is now going to work for you in this fashion. But then we've had some other people who have taken that training and then gone to businesses and said, I know what I'm doing, and here's why. So it's, it's something that will continue, but we probably will not try to manage this large group of people.
Refresh my memory on how much money we had put in that bucket.
Well, so we had $40,000 available from not doing All-Stars for 2 years in a row. So we didn't come anywhere close to spending that. I think
Okay.
Jill would have a better idea of how much we've spent on that, but it's,
Half of us.
I would say less than half,
Okay.
for sure.
I didn't mean to hijack that, Mr. Chairman. I just, when I heard NIL.
Good question.
It just put something in my mind.
Kind of sticks out when you start seeing people on commercial too.
Yeah, yeah.
Basketball stars speaking for other people on
Yeah.
commercial.
Okay.
Like,
some eligibility.
give Mike the ball.
Mike, you and I are the only
We'll
guys
talk
I know
later.
who spent 18 semesters together and still.
8 years, just 15.
3 terms. Nixon, Ford, Carter, Reagan.
Red shirt.
Okay, moving on to long pieces of paper. The first page and second page are just the breakdown of what goes into the checks that go to the AMP and to the city. Third page is collections. We are at $385,916.54. Food and $34,039.90 hotel, totaling $419,956.44, which is up over last year by 11.2%, and then up over 2020 by 21.07%.
Gotta be encouraging for motel tax.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I saw, Mike.
The fourth page is delinquents. Total $39,528.60. We've actually had some motel delinquent tax this time, whereas we usually do not. And we are up over, 9.41% of collections were delinquents. And we're up over December 2021 by 23.94%. No, just kidding, 23.94%, yes.
Hotels are up 40% of last
I was gonna say, it looks like they're finally coming back, and that's good. Yeah.
And then the fifth page is collections excluding delinquents, and we total $380,427.84, which is an increase of $96,782.34 over 2021 at 25.44%. And then the last page is pay simple payments. And they totaled $146,165.66, and they were 34.8% of collections.
Is that about where that's gonna settle in, Jill, you think? About 35%, give or take?
On pay simple?
Yeah.
There are new people, it seems like every month, that are picking up on it, or people that I make contact with that have never heard of it before. I mean, it's pretty steady. It's starting to level out, but there are new ones that are learning about it and are starting to pay online.
Mr. Chairman, could we possibly make a suggestion that people that are on our delinquent list required to go to pay simple? Could we do that? Just asking.
We have to just get in touch in front of them first.
I guess that's it.
I would think. I mean, I'm not trying to be
No,
rude
I-
in any way, but I don't
no.
know if they're delinquent. That means we can't get a hold of them. But at this point, I like to stop if that's
Yeah.
okay. Jill and I met with Michael and Denise because last meeting I probably put the cart before the horse, saying we're going to require all new applicants to come before the committee to understand they know the rules, the guidelines, blah blah blah. Well, there were several not issues, just remarks saying, "What about a toad suck that they can't make it before the meeting, or what about this or that? And so I sent an email out.
I was gonna say,
And so Miss Denise, Michael, I think you're there. They sent something.
I have a copy of that if y'all would each like that.
I would.
I got it, I didn't bring mine with me.
And they laid out in our meeting a way I think would be more efficient. And thank you very much. So Michael, if you want to take over this time.
You bet. I appreciate y'all having us down here this afternoon. And it was a long trip.
Thanks for your trip.
All the way down this
I had a long drive myself.
That's true. And I'll go ahead and clear up for the record. If I ever say I or we did something, it's probably Denise that did it, because we all know that she's a real deal around here. But yeah, from the last meeting from the AMP, we received an email, and it discussed how the AMP was considering putting in a requirement that the applicant needs to come before the board prior to getting an application. And after we kicked it around a little bit between us, it created a whole lot of questions. Possibly we felt like more concerns maybe than the problem that was trying to be solved. And we just we traded some emails with Mr. Mulhern, and he came over and met with us, and we bounced it around. He invited us to come to the meeting today and just have a little constructive criticism or whatever we have here, a little conversation. Yeah, that's what we're looking for.
Mike, I think for me, one of the biggest things is a lot of times the time frame that some of these people are under with opening the business, and the way the AMP meets once a month, can they hold off for a month before they actually open in order to get their permit, and how that's going to affect them. That was one of the things that I had thought about from a timing issue, because it seems like in most cases, when they come to get their permit, they've already got everything else for the most part done, except for the approval, depending on the building, from our, what do you call it? Well, no, the other department that goes in and checks off to make sure everything is ready for
Inspections.
inspections, yes. So it's kind of like, once they get that inspection from us, the inspection from probably the health department, they're ready to open up. So, it could almost be a month delay before they
Correct.
open up.
And that's why I believe Michael
Yeah.
and Denise are going to be here.
Right, that was a concern also, and
Mhm.
Denise has worked with the permits department, and they've actually
Right.
got some checks and balances to where they're not allowed to get their building permit or a sign permit for a new location until they come upstairs first and get an application. And believe me, Denise hammers into them, this is your application, you have to pay taxes. And if I'm not mistaken, even the delinquent list has probably been shrieking over.
Absolutely.
It has, yeah.
And we talked about this too. I mean, especially with the B&Bs coming in, I mean, we've had probably 20 new permits since the last meeting? I mean, that would all be people that would have to come and present at the meeting. We had talked about adding a line to the violation notice that code enforcement serves for us, and saying that once somebody gets on the 30-day delinquent point, that at that point they should have to come in front of the commission, and if they do not, then their permit can be revoked, versus seeing everybody up front first, which might make meetings go quite a bit longer.
I would like to make a comment on that, if I may. I think y'all should just meet more. I think that would solve, is weekly, is that enough? No, I would like, that line is fine, and I thought about this a lot since I found out that we're kind of maybe angling that direction, but a lot of people get 30 days behind. I don't think 30 days is, I think 90 would be good. That would be at the point where we might issue a citation or be close to issuing a citation. So the way we're doing things right now, and you've seen from the delinquency list that we're knocking some things out. I don't think a 30 days is going to be prudent. I think you kind of get in that same day. There are going to be a lot of people that get 30 but never get 60, or for sure don't get 90. So if we hit them at 90, that might be the time.
60, because 90 comes with a citation.
Yeah.
And they've lost their permit at that point. When y'all serve them a cease and desist, they've already lost their permit anyway.
I mean, that's fine. I just would like to push it beyond 30.
Yeah,
I agree.
and I'm looking at, the way we typically have done it, and the 30 is just the proposed assessment notice and the intent to revoke, so.
And then it comes back, you know, the larger chains,
Yes.
who's gonna come?
Mm-hmm.
If a manager's changing, let's say every 3 weeks, or if it's, but you gotta make it fair for all.
Right.
From the mom and pop to the chain, so it's gotta be, if it's 60, then it's 60.
Right.
Because we have talked about some of the chains that the manager that gets the A&P commission app is not the same one 3 months from now. And so, I'm fine with 60.
If we request they come in 60 and say they get the paperwork, they settle up and they get good, are they still going to need to attend the meeting? Is the face-to-face part of the solution here, or is compliance seen in when they're caught up on their back taxes?
Y'all tell me.
I'd be more concerned about the compliance piece of it.
That's what I would think, is if they get in the compliance, that's fine. How are you going to drag them in? You know, you might have, that would be a huge issue with that. If you weren't satisfied with just them being current, what does it look to actually, like, you've got to have teeth if they don't come in? Do you cite them for not coming in? I mean, I think it could get sticky, but that would be up to y'all to decide.
My preference is basically making sure they're in compliance. Now, I think that if they get into a pattern of getting to the 60 days, then we would have them to come in. But I think especially on a first time, if they get to the 60 days and they get in compliance before that 60 days, I mean, I think that's fine. But I also think we have to be responsible enough to look at and see if this is a continuous pattern. Because if that's a continuous pattern for them getting to that point, then I would definitely think at that time we would need to look at having them to come in.
You all went through that with.
Exactly.
They do until you go back and
Yeah.
Well, having that line added to our paperwork is not a big deal. And the way we're doing things now with getting to these businesses before they get too far behind, it seems to be working. Jill's putting a lot of work on that, and I appreciate you helping code enforcement to do that. Also, Rachel, getting that stuff translated has been fantastic. But
That made a huge difference.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not seeing some
Huge
people on
difference.
here that.
I was gonna say, looking at today's, I'm like.
Isn't that
oh my
awesome?
God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's incredible. It's incredible. But we've kind of hammered out a system that worked. And if y'all want to add this step in there, I do think it's a good idea. I'm always for putting somebody that's confused in front of the answers so they can have a chance to ask. And if they are habitually 60 plus days late, it would be good to get them in here. But I just want to change that from the 30. I mean, 30 days is just, a lot of people are going to be 30. So.
We need a motion to do that, or is that?
I don't think we've added it on there as of yet, have we? I think that was just a suggestion maybe to add the 30 days. Is that correct on what code enforcement is doing? So we haven't actually, I mean, that was just a suggestion.
Do we need a motion to do it at 60 days?
I know Charles always said it's better to have a motion than not.
I make
I
a
think it
motion
is
that
too,
we
so
add
go
the
ahead.
60 days.
I got a motion and a second to add the 60-day. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you very much.
So the delinquent list, we do have a couple of chains on here. However, they are locally owned chains. Well, Burger King isn't, but I think they just somehow missed their January payment. Now, Subway changed ownership, and the new owners haven't got the system down yet, I guess, to pay timely.
So Jill, when you say they changed owners, is that, because we've got 3 on here, so is that for all 3 or is that for
Yes,
just,
ma'am.
okay, all right.
I don't think the new person is, did she ever apply for permits? Okay.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if they ever made contact with you. Well, I guess by staying local, they're in communication with us and we know who we're supposed to talk to. I guess that's what I meant by local. But I think a phone call to the Burger King and to the Subway would fix that situation. I did file week before last, hot check charges on Chivos Locos. And there's 2 others that are coming right behind the Tatchet House and Steak and Shake. I've made every attempt to get them to remedy the situation. It's not been remedied yet. And Chivos Locos is just a repeat offender at it. So, and we learned from, what's the first one? Oh, Your Pie, that the county will get them and they will bring them in and they will collect the tax from them before they let them go. And they will issue us a check.
Okay.
So help me on the Hatchet House and Steak and Shake. What do we need to do? Is this when?
I'm filing hot check charges on them.
Yeah, she's got a note on
Okay.
here, yeah, that she's filing hot check charges.
Any hatchets left over there?
I said I can do. Still got the windows painted, but
Yeah.
that's it.
See if there's something we could go pawn, maybe.
Well, the list is a third, or more than a
Yeah,
third.
this
So
looks
well done.
great.
Yeah.
Thank
It
you.
does.
Thank you.
Well,
very
and
much.
perfect example of the people that should come in and be present in front of you guys and promise to never do this again, get delinquent, get this far behind. El Pastorcito. He is one that he will get to citation range, and he'll deal with it. He'll get current, or he thinks he's current, and then here we are back in that same cycle again.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like another Jose.
So is he one that needs to come to next meeting?
Which one?
El Pastorcito, the one you just brought up.
Yes, I think it would be a good idea. Because he's already been through court and back again, and then now he's gotten this delinquent already again.
Anybody have an issue with if we can get in front of him and visit with him?
We know where he's located.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Well, Jill, and it looks like there's another one too, the permit number 789. Got kind of the same situation. I don't know what their payment history has been or if they've had it.
They're very delinquent. I took the ones off here that are in that same situation that are closed, permanently closed. Code enforcement was mailing something to them, and they were within 90-day range too. The other ones, I mean, code enforcement knocked them out with the translated violation notice.
The law Australia, that's one we can't find. We don't have any information leading to a solution there.
On which one?
Which one?
789, Law Australia. I don't know if it's this one. I know that we've had issue with some of the permits have the location the food truck will be located at, but not a physical address. And it would be very helpful if we had a physical address for whoever's responsible for that. Yeah. If the food truck is relocated, I mean, it's just a shot in the dark. We happen to drive by it or see it advertised somewhere.
Or if you drive by and it's never open at the time. Yeah.
Exactly. So our new system, I mean, we do sticker things to doors and things like that if we have to. But normally a restaurant within working hours, we can catch somebody there. So, but. Yeah, the stickers, the stickers are a lot of help. So we're, like I said, we've kind of fine tuned with some trial and error, and I think we've got it figured out. Great job.
Thank you very much.
So I guess all of the A&P permits are the same. There's no differential between a food truck versus a restaurant.
As far as AP permits go, correct, it should not.
Cause I'm just thinking if all we have on the food trucks is the food truck location, those are mobile, you can pick up and head to another one.
Some of them, we will get a home address, you know, or a different address, but not always. I'm just gonna give us a different address.
So they come and pick up the application and then they typically will bring it back and that's when you issue the permit or?
Well, it really, ever since the shutdown, everybody almost always emails. Emails the application.
I'm just
But I'll talk to
wondering
them
if
about
on the food truck particularly, before you issue that permit, if you have to have, yeah, because to me that would be, that's a huge
A mailing
issue.
address and a
Yes,
physical address.
yes.
Most of them do.
Okay. I think it would behoove us to make sure we get a physical address of either a owner or whoever is applying before we issue a permit, particularly for a food truck. Because like I said, they could pick up and move to another location and be operating with the permit and we be out of compliance and we still couldn't find them.
Yes, that's what happened to the majority of the ones that were
Mhm.
were on the delinquent list.
Right, right. Yeah. I
Like
think if there was
Australia.
a way we could get that before we would issue the permit, that'd be awesome.
Great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Great idea.
And also, when I filed check charges with the county on Chivas Locos, I explained to them that I wasn't sure who was signing the checks, that there were several owners of it,
Mm-hmm.
and so they subpoenaed bank records
Mm-hmm.
from their, well, one was from Arbes, one was from First Security, I think, or Centennial, one of the two. And she emailed back and said, the signature actually matches Jose. So he's the one that's gonna be, he's the one that's gonna have the warrant of arrest for that.
Catches up with you sooner or later.
Eventually,
It does.
eventually.
Okay.
First, I need a, I guess, back to the financials, need a
That's
motion.
what I was gonna say, do we
Yes,
need,
ma'am.
I'll make a motion for approval of the financials.
I got a motion from Ms. Sheila for approval of the financials. I need a second. Mike, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. And
And
then the third,
Delinquents.
Huh?
Delinquents.
I was
I'll
gonna
get my
say,
paragraph
I
out.
also made.
Get ready.
I gotta get my paragraph out.
I was gonna say, our standard motion, yes.
Yes, ma'am, 30 days, proposed
Mhm.
assess notice and intent to revoke 60. Proposed amount and final, yeah, 90 days, cease and desist.
Mhm.
Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
First, say, all approved, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
And I just wanna say, looking at this list today, thank you, Jill, thank you, all code enforcement,
Denise,
all of you.
Michael,
That
thank
is
y'all very much.
awesome.
We're down to
That's
13,000.
awesome. Yes, that is amazing.
I appreciate y'all's time. Thank you for the email and the meeting.
Mhm. Yes.
Thank you very much. Ms. Rachel,
You need provisions to load up and head back to your office?
Well, I'm afraid if I don't go,
Or you can stay.
thought you might drop me if I didn't.
No, well, you can stay.
Okay, so in your packet, I sent you a sports intelligence report from Due North Media, which was just statistics on a digital campaign that's running over 59 days. We've had 63,000 impressions and 176 clicks. That's pretty good. You can see in the little graph, the Facebook impressions were continuing to go up through April 6th, which was the day that I printed this. At our last meeting, I talked about the Arkansas Department of Parks, Heritage, and Tourism holding their meeting in Conway. It was the same week that we had our March meeting. Andy attended. Thank you for being there. And we received a thank you note from Stacy Hurst that I will read. Just said, on behalf of the State Parks, Recreation, and Travel Commission, I want to express our appreciation and thanks to the Conway CVB for hosting the social hour and dinner for the March SPRTC meeting in Conway. I heard the venue of the Max was fantastic, especially the looping videos highlighting Arkansas State Parks. I continue to hear how amazing the meal was. I'm so sorry I missed out. I compliment you and your staff for the excellent planning, which was organized in such a small amount of time. So that was Jill McCullum did the food, and they were very appreciative of everything we did to welcome them to Conway. And I've run into her a couple of times since then. It's just all been positive comments. So thank you for the funds to be able to do that. 3v3 Live has hosted their regional soccer tournament in Conway for the past, I believe, 5 years. They are planning to host again July 30th and 31st at Centennial Soccer Park. In 2021, they had 79 teams from Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas, and Missouri, with 475 participants ages 6 to adult, 1,600 total attendance, including visitors, and they used funding that was provided to market the event through email, banners, Facebook ads, and purchase some tournament prizes. So they're again asking for $4,000 for their 2022 event, which would be the same amount they've been awarded in the past. Historically, we have done that through the event incentive line item of the budget, and we currently have $35,000 available there if you all wish to support it. Since it's not traditional AMP funding, I didn't put it on the agenda as a separate line item. So just kind of as long as y'all are good with that, I'll let them know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm fine with that.
Awesome. Have a ad running in a state tourism vertical newsletter. I worked on that a lot last week, writing a copy about fishing in Conway. As someone who's not an avid fisher, you might understand how that was a little complicated. But there are lots of fishing blogs, and if you just Google it, there's a lot of information out there to be used. So I'm appreciative to those people. And then Friday, we hosted a consulting company to discuss some future projects in Conway. We had meetings with several stakeholders, and we'll be able to talk more about that in the future. Just a note from the chamber, because of the AMP Commission's sponsorship of Toad Suck Days through AMP funding, you get 15 tickets to the VIT event at King's on April 28th. And if you would like to attend, let me know. And we have to know by Wednesday, I believe, before your tickets will be released. We have a lot of just like general public wanting to buy tickets because of the performances that are going to be taking place there. So,
What time is that on the 28th, Rachel?
Jamie, do you know?
I was gonna say, I think we got it. If it's not, it is now,
I
right?
have an email from Celeste, who's organizing that I can share with you, but
Okay.
wanted to mention it to you face to face before I just sent you an email. Ran an ad in, let's see what this is, Sports Destination Management, print ad, also mentioned in their venues and services section. And then the Arkansas Travel Guide came out. Each of these tabs represents a place that Conway is mentioned. So we had a full page ad. Let's see which tab that is. Have a full page ad in the publication. We were mentioned in the copy that is the intro to the Central Arkansas section. We are mentioned in the Heart of Arkansas ad with a picture from us, and then also mentioned in just the listings that they give out for each city. So that is all. Any questions?
And I do appreciate getting your report each month.
Yes.
That's very
Thank you very much.
helpful. Yes.
Well, you're very welcome.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Steve?
Yes, sir. First weekend in April, we have baseball and softball tournaments and an event at the Expo and a 5K. This past weekend, we had baseball tournament, basketball tournament, and an event at the Expo Antique Alley. We'll skip over the Easter weekend and go to the 23rd and 24th. We have baseball tournaments on all fields. We have a basketball tournament, and the Mission of Mercy comes to the Expo, and EcoFest is that weekend also. The April 30th and May 1st, we have baseball at Conway Station Park and Curtis Walker, and softball at CCP. And then the 7th and 8th of May, we have baseball and softball tournaments.
Getting busy.
Yeah.
Getting
Staying
busy.
busy.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The new business was discussed already. Does anybody have anything else that we need to visit about?
Do y'all need to vote on retraction of the last vote to make every AMP permit holder come in here? Or was that voted on with the 60-day thing?
I know we talked about it. Did we formally vote? I think,
Y'all voted on the 60-day,
right.
but before that, the only voting was on minutes.
So you're asking if we need to vote again to remove new applicants to appear before the commission? Because we already approved the 60-day being added, that one sentence added to the application. Is that correct?
To the violation notice?
I'm sorry.
Yes, because it's on the site that everybody has to come in. People have called me panicked about it.
Yeah, because it does say in the minutes that it was also approved that new business will be to have them appear before the AMP Commission for approval of permits. So I guess we just need to retract that. Yes.
Okay.
So moved.
I have a approval and a second to retract new applicants appearing before the committee. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Jill.
Thank you, guys.
If that is it, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you very much for all attending.
Glad we could be here.